everyone, welcome back. Today we're doing a deep dive on how Christmas is celebrated.
Ooh, fun.
Especially when it comes to romance.
Okay.
And we have a pretty interesting combo of sources for this one.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear this.
We've got this Korean Christmas K-pop playlist on YouTube. And then we've got an old radio script for a Christmas special.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's like two totally different takes on the holidays.
That's cool. So what are we looking for in these sources?
Well, I think you'll be surprised to see how the K-pop actually reflects Christmas traditions.
Yeah.
And how those traditions compare with what's discussed in the radio script.
Okay, I can
Yeah.
see how that could be really interesting.
Yeah, it's amazing how much these sources, even though they're so different,
Right.
actually have in common when you start looking closely.
Yeah, for sure. Like, what kinds of things are we talking about?
Well, both of them explore how Christmas has changed over time
Okay.
from these simpler celebrations focused on family and community
Right.
to the more modern, kind of glamorous Christmas that we see today.
Oh, yeah, totally. That makes sense.
Yeah, and the radio script really highlights those simpler times.
Okay.
Like it talks about families going to church together,
Wow.
caroling out in the snow,
Right.
even having snowball fights.
I love that.
It's all about togetherness, right?
Definitely. It reminds me of some of the things they talk about in the K-pop songs, too.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's one line that says, small hands coming together to create a warm Christmas story,
Yeah,
which, that really emphasizes that sense of community during the holidays.
that's cool.
Yeah, it's really sweet.
It makes me wonder,
Yeah.
did you do any of those things growing up? Like, did you ever go caroling or anything?
Well, actually, my family,
Yeah.
we always used to make this special hot fish cake soup
Oh, wow.
every Christmas Eve.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was. And we'd always open one present before
Oh.
bed. It was a really special tradition.
Yeah, it's funny how those little traditions stick with you.
Yeah, definitely. And it's interesting to compare those kinds of things to how Christmas is shown today.
You're right. It's all Christmas now, glitz, glam, and social media.
Yeah, exactly.
As the radio script so aptly puts it.
It's all fancy dinners
Oh, for sure.
and, romantic getaways.
Right.
And of course, everyone's posting about it on Instagram.
Of course. Makes you wonder if we've lost some of that genuine connection,
Yeah, I see what you mean. Like in the pursuit of that perfect holiday Instagram post.
Exactly. It's a valid point, though, right?
Yeah, it is. Have we maybe shifted the emphasis a little too far toward appearances? Like rather than genuine human connection and love?
I think that's a big question.
It is.
But it's interesting, though, because even though the K-pop acknowledges the modern aspects of Christmas,
Okay.
like there's a lot about city lights and stuff,
Right.
they still really focus on warmth and love.
That is interesting. It's like even with all the extra sparkle today,
Yeah,
there's still that desire for that genuine connection.
right.
At the heart of it all.
Totally. It's like they're trying to strike that balance,
Yeah.
acknowledging that Christmas has evolved, but also reminding us not to lose sight of what really matters.
Absolutely.
And this is where the radio script gets really interesting,
Right.
because they start to question
Uh-huh.
whether the way we celebrate Christmas today,
Yeah.
especially the focus on romantic relationships, has become a little too prescriptive.
Oh, that's interesting. Like there's too much pressure to do things a certain way.
Exactly. Like there's this societal pressure to be coupled up during the holidays.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And the script even says that being alone on Christmas
Uh-huh.
can feel like a social failure.
Wow. Yeah, that's harsh.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes you think,
What does it make you think?
like, what is the psychological impact of that?
Hmm.
How do those pressures actually make people feel
That's a good question.
during a time that's supposed to be about joy and connection,
Yeah. It's definitely something to think about.
And it's easy to forget that not everyone experiences the holidays in the same way.
Right. And maybe this is a good time to ask our listener.
Okay. Yeah.
Have you ever felt that pressure to be part of a couple during Christmas?
That's a great question. What do you think?
I think it's really common.
Yeah.
And it leads us into the next part of our deep dive.
Okay.
We've talked about the general shift and how Christmas is celebrated.
Yeah.
But now let's look specifically at how romantic relationships are portrayed
Okay.
in both of these sources.
Sounds good.
And one thing that really stood out to me
Yeah.
was how differently they approach gift giving.
Oh, yeah. That's a big one.
The radio script makes a clear distinction
Uh-huh.
between Christmas then
Yeah,
and Christmas now.
I like that.
When it comes to gifts,
Yeah.
in the past it was all about thoughtful but small gestures,
Okay.
like a handwritten letter or a homemade treat,
Ah.
something with that personal touch.
I love it.
But today it seems like it's all about expensive gifts.
Yeah.
It's like the price tag has become a measure of love.
Oh, that's so true. And what's interesting is the K-pop song flips that idea completely on its head.
Oh, really? How so?
It talks about the gift of meeting again, suggesting that emotional connection and
Right.
shared experiences
Yeah,
are way more valuable than anything you could buy in a store.
that's a beautiful sentiment.
Yeah, it really is. What do you think about that contrast?
I think it's really refreshing.
Me too.
It's a nice reminder
Yeah.
that the best gifts aren't material things.
Right.
And it ties back to what we were saying earlier about that desire for warmth and genuine connection.
Totally. Even amidst all the glitz and glam of modern Christmas.
It's a great point.
And there's another aspect of the song that I think speaks to the evolution of Christmas romance.
That's that.
The idea of confessing love during the holidays.
Oh, yeah, there's a line about that, isn't there?
Yeah, confessing love on Christmas. And it lines up perfectly with what the radio script says about Christmas becoming a day for couples.
Right. It's like we've created this occasion
Yeah,
for grand romantic gestures and declarations of love.
exactly. Which on one hand can be really romantic and exciting.
Yeah.
But on the other hand,
Yeah.
it adds another layer of pressure to the whole experience.
I see what you mean.
Like if you're not sweeping someone off their feet with a romantic gesture on Christmas, you're somehow doing it wrong.
Right. It goes back to that whole thing about the pressure to be coupled up.
Right. It makes you think about where that pressure comes from.
It does.
Is it the media? Social expectations?
Yeah.
Family traditions?
Maybe it's all of those things.
Probably. It's
Yeah.
complex for sure.
Yeah, definitely. But before we get too deep into that,
Right.
I think it's important to acknowledge
Right.
that we're looking at two very different cultural contexts here.
That's true.
We have a Korean K-pop song in a Western radio script,
Yeah.
but they're both touching on these similar anxieties and desires.
That's so fascinating to me.
Yeah, it's like they're having a conversation across continents.
Totally. They're both highlighting the global reach of these anxieties about Christmas.
Yeah.
How even in different cultures, people are dealing with the same questions
Right.
about love and connection and how to celebrate in a way that feels authentic.
I think that's a great point.
And I think that shared experience is a good place to pause for now.
Sounds good.
We've covered a lot already.
Yeah, we have. From Christmas traditions to modern romance.
But there's still more to unpack,
Oh, for sure.
especially when we start comparing these anxieties across cultures.
Absolutely.
It's interesting,
right,
right?
well-
Because even though these sources are from different parts of the world, they seem to be pointing to a similar desire
What is
to reclaim the true heart of Christmas amidst all the changes and pressures.
That's a beautiful idea.
Yeah, it is. And I think it's worth exploring further.
I agree. It really is remarkable
Yeah.
how these anxieties about Christmas, they seem to kind of transcend cultures,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, totally. What do you think that says about?
It suggests that maybe these concerns aren't really about Christmas itself, but about something deeper.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Like what?
Well, maybe it's about our
Yeah.
need for connection, you know?
Okay.
Like as humans,
Right.
we crave that togetherness,
Yeah,
especially during the holidays.
that makes sense.
But in a world that's so focused on
Yeah.
individualism and like always being busy,
Yeah,
I think it can be hard to find those connections sometimes.
totally. We're always bombarded with messages about
I know.
success and achievement and,
Right.
taking care of yourself,
Yeah,
which are all important.
for sure.
But it's easy to forget about community
Yeah.
and
And relying on each other.
Exactly. And so Christmas, with its focus on
Family and love and togetherness can actually make us feel that lack even more
Oh, that's a good point.
if we're not careful.
Yeah.
It's like it magnifies those pressures we talked about.
Right, those societal pressures.
Yeah.
To have the perfect relationship.
The perfect family.
Perfect Instagram post.
Ugh, it's exhausting.
That really is.
It's like we're all trying to live up to this impossible standard
Yeah.
of holiday perfection.
Which takes all the joy out of it.
Exactly. But you know what I find hopeful?
Yeah.
Is that both of our sources, even though they talk about all that anxiety,
Yeah.
they also offer a way forward.
Oh, that's good. Like what?
They suggest that we can reclaim the true meaning of Christmas
Okay.
by focusing on what really matters.
And what's that?
Genuine connection, meaningful experiences, and celebrating love in all its forms.
I like that.
Yeah, me too.
The K-pop song,
Right.
with its focus on, like, the gift of meeting again.
It reminds us that it's the shared experiences that create lasting memories.
Totally. The laugh.
The conversations.
Right.
It's not about the presents or the decorations.
Yeah.
It's about being present with the people you care about.
Yeah, I love that. And even though the radio script points out all the pressure around relationships, it also talks about embracing all forms of love during the holidays.
So it's not just about romantic love.
Right. It's about celebrating family and friends, and even the love we have for ourselves.
I like that. It's a good reminder that you don't need to be in a relationship to experience the joy of Christmas.
Exactly. And that's such an important message because society often tells us that romantic love is the key to happiness.
Which isn't always true.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And so we can choose
to
create our own definition of what a meaningful holiday looks like.
I like that. You get to decide for yourself.
Right. Whether you're spending it with a partner, family, friends, or even just enjoying some quiet time alone.
It's up to you.
It's interesting, right?
Right.
How these sources, even though they're from different cultures, both talk about reclaiming the true spirit of Christmas.
Yeah, it's like they're both pushing back against the commercialization and the pressure to be perfect.
Right. And it's like they're saying, we can rediscover the genuine joy of the season.
It speaks to a universal desire, I think, to reconnect with what matters during the holidays.
What do you think that looks like?
I think it looks like stripping away the excess, the expectations, the pressure to perform, and just rediscovering the simple beauty of human connection.
It's finding the joy in the imperfections, the unexpected moments, the shared laughter and conversations that make the holidays special.
It's about celebrating the love we have in all its forms.
That's great.
And remembering that true connection comes from authenticity and vulnerability.
Totally. And not from trying to be perfect.
Exactly.
And as we start wrapping up this deep dive, I think it's important to consider how we can apply these ideas to our own lives.
I like that.
Like, how can each of us reclaim the true spirit of Christmas in a way that feels authentic to us?
That's a good question.
What traditions do we want to hold on to? What new ones might we want to create?
Those are great questions.
Yeah, and I think they're worth thinking about.
For sure.
As we head into the final part of our exploration.
Okay, so we've talked about the anxieties, the pressures, the desire for connection. But what about the practical side of things?
Okay.
How do we actually create a Christmas experience that reflects our values and brings us joy?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It is.
And I think it's the perfect way to transition to our final thoughts on this topic.
Sounds good.
It's amazing, isn't it?
What is?
How much we've learned.
Just
from these two sources.
Right. A K-pop playlist and a radio script.
And they're so different.
They are.
But they both
get at these universal anxieties about Christmas.
It really shows you that these experiences are shared by people all over the world.
It doesn't matter your background.
Exactly. It's like we're all trying to figure out how to balance the traditions of Christmas with modern life.
Right. And there's no easy answer.
No, but I think these sources give us some good ideas.
Yeah, they do.
Like the K-pop song. It really emphasizes that the true spirit of Christmas is about love and kindness.
Right, not about spending a ton of money.
Exactly. It's about those simple things.
Like what?
Like sharing a meal.
Okay.
Or giving a thoughtful gift.
Yeah, and the radio script, it reminds us that we can celebrate in a way that feels right for us.
Yeah, that's important.
Whether it's with family or volunteering or
just relaxing at home.
It's about what brings you joy.
Exactly.
I love that.
Me too.
Letting go of the need for everything to be perfect.
Yeah, just being present in the moment.
And focusing on what truly matters.
I think that's a good takeaway for our listeners.
Yeah, what kind of Christmas do you want to create this year?
What brings you joy?
What traditions are meaningful to you?
Think about those things as we head into the holidays.
And remember, the real magic of Christmas is about connection and laughter.
And sharing it all with people you care about.
Happy holidays, everyone!
저기 반짝이는 불빛들 아래 떨리는 마음 오늘은 말해야 해. 귓가엔 종소리 가슴은 더 크게 울려. 내가 준비한 입만 전해줄래. 오늘 밤엔 내 고백이 흰 눈처럼 내려와. 너의 마음에 닿기를 바라며 용기를 내. 이 크리스마스에 내 사랑을 전할게 너에게. 1년 동안 담아온 작은 비밀들 이젠 더 이상 숨길 수 없겠어. 초콜릿 향기 속 너와 나 둘이서 우리의 시간이 시작되길 바래. 혹시 네가 내 맘 몰라줘도 난 오늘을 절대 후회하지 않아. 빛나는 크리스마스 밤이 우리의 추억으로 남을 테니까. 눈 속에서 반짝이는 너의 미소 내 마음을 채워주는 따뜻한 빛. 이 순간에 내 전부를 걸어볼게. 널 사랑해 크리스마스의 기적처럼. 오늘 밤엔 내 고백이 흰 눈처럼 내려와. 너의 마음에 닿기를 바라며 용기를 내. 이 크리스마스에 내 사랑을 전할게 너에게 너에게. 일 년 동안 담아온 작은 비밀들 이젠 더 이상 숨길 수 없겠어. 초콜릿 향기 속 너와 나 둘이서 우리의 시간이 시작되길 바래. 혹시 네가 내 맘 몰라줘도 난 오늘을 절대 후회하지 않아. 빛나는 크리스마스 밤이 우리의 추억으로 남을 테니까. 오늘까 눈 속에서 반짝이는 너의 미소